Okay, back to sharing my screen. All right. Well, trying to hide the people. Okay. So as you can see my screen, I'm going to show you there are 6 to 7 different ways to save money on travel in our travel club. This thing has changed my life. I'm going to start off with my story and then I'll share a little bit more about some of the 6 platforms. But I have joined this platform with my buddy Randy, who's on the call today, about 3 years ago. And it's not quite 3 years. In April, it'll be 3 years, I guess. And it's changed my life because I'm an Airbnb girl. I live in my house and I rent it part time. And then when I get it rented, I go places. And I've traveled all over the world. And I realized early on, if I just go up the street and stay at a hotel, it's pretty expensive. So I started branching out with Travorium is the name of this company to to stay in Colorado Springs for a couple of nights, and then I went to Garden of the Gods, and I was like, wow, it's really like the first time I've actually allowed myself to really go on vacation. As a property manager, many times I'll go to Phoenix and see properties like near Jeanette and Texas, where my daughter lives, and I've run properties there, and then I've run another one in the Breckenridge area, but I never really allowed myself to really like have fun unless it was Sedona. So Sedona was a blip for me. So whenever I would go to Phoenix and Chandler, I would go and check out Sedona for like 4 or 5 days. So on the platform in November of 2 years ago, I went to Sedona as a package deal on this one site, which I'll show you in a little bit. And I booked it. It was $1,500 for a 4 day stay. It included my flight and 2 night stay at a resort in Sedona, which is normally $700 a night. And I rented a car and I stayed in Phoenix for 4 days. Sorry, 2 days, but the whole trip was 4 days. So I rented the car for 4 days and checked on one of my properties, went to Sedona, stayed at that resort, and then came back. And the whole thing was $1,500, but it included my flight, and the resort alone was $700 a night. So I basically got the rental car and the flight for free. And then I was like, okay, this thing might be cool. Let's try it again and see what else I could do. So then I booked Jamaica in December 2 years ago. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat. And I went on what we call World Tour, which I'll show you quite a bit. That's my favorite platform now, since gone on 7 different world tours, which are pretty much staying at a resort for 4 and 5 star resorts for about 5 days. Sometimes they have Dubai for like 6 days, Vietnam, they have Bali, some different areas, Thailand, where there are six days, 7 nights. But I went to Jamaica and it was epic. And I went to a 5 star resort. It was all inclusive. I invited my friend Debbie and we just had a ball. And, I got a sort of a lesson in how do you travel, because I'm not used to traveling. I work my ass off as a property manager for Airbnbs. I'm always on call. And so, fast forward to that summer after this epic trip to Jamaica, I was like, this thing is amazing. I think it was like $400 for 2 people, all inclusive. So then I decided my house was booked for the summer. So I went to Europe for 7 weeks and I went to 2 world tours. I went to Portugal, Algarve for 5 days, beautiful 5 star resort. I'll show you pictures just so you can see what I'm talking about. I think they have them here. Here it is. It's being offered in December. One of my team members is going for $111. But this is the world tour I went on. Can you guys see my screen?
It's
Yeah, we can
So
see
it's
it.
it's right on a cliff. It's unbelievable. I'd never went to anything so beautiful in my life. And I had so much fear traveling solo And I called three of my friends. They walked me off the ledge, literally, to go and spend this amazing time in this beautiful, beautiful resort. And so I booked that. And this one was 111. I think mine was, it depends on the season. Mine was a little bit more, but it includes breakfast. You could see that. And you could see that it is a five-star resort. And the breakfast included is a buffet breakfast. Like you have so much food. I'm like a little bit of a breakfast girl, not like I pig out and eat but this thing you would eat all to your heart's content. All the yogurts and they had the private chef to make you your omelets and things like that so that you don't actually need to eat lunch. Um, and then I went to Sicily, Italy. I think you could see all my trips here. I went to Sicily, Italy. This was Sicily. I can't show you all the pictures, but I paid $4.99. It was an all-inclusive as well at a five-star resort in Italy. And in between these two trips, then I went to Roma, and then I went to Amalfi Coast, and then I went to Florence, and I went to the Uffizi Museum, and then I went to the Louvre in Paris, and I went to Nice, France. And so basically, that 7 weeks in Europe changed my life because I had never been to those places when I was married. We just were raising the children. We didn't go on trips. So and my house was booked. So I had money coming in. I hired a VA at that point so that I could manage the properties. But then I realized I was on to something because I started sharing and I shared it with like 10 of my best friends. And then before I knew it, I had a team of people that I was making daily pay on every single day. And you could see yesterday or this morning, I woke up to a $750 bonus, and I get $25 every day in the level that I'm at because I share this with other people. But let me go and show you a couple different platforms that we have. We have three travel sites, one of which I already mentioned was the package deals. But this one is amazing for cruises. We actually can save 40, 50, 60, 80, 70% off. It depends on the hotels. I'll show you on one of the other ones, the hotels, but I wanted to show you this one with the cruises is that we have access to 44 cruise lines that we can save money from, and people are saving 500, 600, 800,000 dollars on cruises all over. And we have this little pop-up that you saw here, so you have access to concierge. You literally, to book this thing, you would just Google where you want to go. I was just looking at this yesterday. I was actually looking for the summer because I'm thinking about going to Hawaii with my daughter. And I thought, well, since I book my house for like weeks on end, I thought, what else can I do after that? So I looked up, and there are cruises that I can go to with our platform. And these show prices, but that isn't the complete price. You have to literally call the concierge. I haven't booked one yet. I just know other people have booked these, and it's amazing, and they're all over the world. And so the way it works is you just pull it up, and it gives you an idea of the range of the price depending on whatever you want, and then you select it, and then what you do is you go and call the concierge to help you get it booked. But I can assure you the savings are real. This might take a few minutes. Okay, there it is. And you can fill this out, and then it shows you the itinerary of where you're going, right? And then, but to book it and to find out the final price and all that, then you actually need to call the concierge. But it's so cool that we have that access. We have homes on these things. We have access to flights, but flights in the world are highly regulated. So we do have savings, but I cannot like promise you a certain percentage of savings. This is one of the platforms that you could save money on that. The homes is but I have a better one that I might recommend for you to use to book with that. We have access to homes, VRBOs, and here we go, all over the world, which is kind of amazing. And you could just search for them. They used to have just luxury homes in here, but I think it's kind of changing a little bit where might have access to more affordable homes as well. But if you've got a large group, then this might be one of your best bets. We also have access to condos and timeshares with our thing here as well. See, this is a 5 bedroom. It's 900 a night, but 5 bedrooms, you could probably sleep 10 people, right? And these are just in Hawaii. Hawaii is super, super expensive. So anything in Hawaii is going to be outrageous. And so let me go to I got your question, Gabby. I will definitely cover that in a few minutes. So let me go to the other travel site. This one I use pretty much 90% of the time. So as a member, you collect travel points, and we're going to talk about what you could do with those travel points, but you also get access to what we call the legacy travel site. So I use this so much more than anything else. And I've done little puddle jump, trips at last minute. I think it was a month and a half ago, I went to Vegas for a conference because I got a last minute booking at my house. So ended up going to the conference and it was epic. It was for entrepreneurs. I had so much fun and I got such a good deal on the hotel. And then I met my friend Anna and she joined. So but the savings are so good. You can see up to 70% off on staying at the Rio, which is a 4-star hotel. But there's 208 different hotels that you can choose from for this 3-day weekend coming up in pre-Christmas. So I stayed at the Virgin when I went on my trip, but that, savings is $188 for that little whatever. Resorts World is often what we have for one of our world tours. Super luxury hotel, love staying there. But Fontainebleau is my buddy Izzy. He loves staying there, and my friend Chance. But there are 18 pages of choices that you get to choose for the dates that you want. And that's why I use this the most. So when I went last year to Europe with the 2 world tours, I went and stayed all the other places, Roma and everywhere else. I booked it on this site. So you can filter if you wanted, where you want to just stay at a 4-star because Hillary likes bougie. You could also say, I want breakfast and I don't have, you could say swimming pool. And then it filters it by that. You could also filter it by like, I want to stay pretty darn close and not have to go anywhere. I don't have a car. So, or you could pull up the map. And then you could just click on the map if you're in the middle of Roma and you have no idea how far anything is. I was staying at the fountain, the Trevi fountain, but I had no idea. I've never been to Roma. So if you're in a foreign country, this year I went for 10 weeks to Europe and I was island hopping in Greece for 5 weeks, but the whole trip was 10 weeks. And when you're pulling stuff up and you don't know the area, then it really helps to have the map and it gives you an idea of where you're going. So this is one of my favorite platforms. And I'll just show you how it works. So you select the room and you can look at the photos. And I always recommend looking at the photos. This is a Hyatt. So it kind of gives you an idea of, usually Hyatts are good. I've stayed at a lot of Hyatts. My daughter's got me hooked on Hyatts. But then what you do is you look on the map and then it gives you choices of where to stay. And so for this particular room, you save $225. You're saving 71%. So when I tell you, sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 50. It depends on the dates. and it depends on the availability. I call it dynamic pricing. You can see here it says refundable. They don't always say that, and sometimes it has breakfast. This one says accommodation only. So, and then I also, it gives you other choices, like if you want a view. So here, I want to go to the top floor. That's Hillary's favorite thing because I can see all the strip. You're going to pay a little bit more and the savings are not as good, but that's your choice if you want that. Or if you're by an ocean, you want an ocean view. I definitely recommend when you are on this platform to check out reviews. That's so important. Do your due diligence so you're not staying at a hotel and you get there and you're disappointed. But if you want to go ahead and book it now, you are going to when you're comparing apples to apples. So I might play a video for you in a few minutes just to explain that all the third party platforms are owned by two companies, which is Expedia and Priceline. Expedia owns Booking.com and they own VRBO. They own hotels.com. They own Travelocity, Orbitz, all those companies, they own them. Kayak. And so when you book this thing, you're going to save, what we had told you earlier was the savings. Plus, you're going to get loyalty points. So you can triple dip on this particular one because it's a Hyatt. So you're saving $225 or whatever that was. And then when you get to the hotel, you can add your Hyatt frequent number as well as on your next booking. When you book this thing, you're going to get 280 of loyalty points. That's different than your travel points. And I'll explain the travel points in a few minutes. And then you can use these loyalty points to save 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 on your next booking, if that makes sense. So, and when you see the price that you're paying, this is the total price. So if you were to go to Expedia or Booking.com and book it, that isn't the total price because you have to go to the final page and they're adding taxes and all that. And for this booking, it's already included. So you'll find that there's an additional savings, which is just insane and crazy. Does anybody have any questions on this before I move on? Okay. So on this same one, we have flights. So I have booked flights on this thing. And then what I want to show you here is activities. So when I was in Paris, I did so many activities in Paris when I was in Paris last year. Um, And I booked activities in every location all over the world. I did that again this year as well. And we have access to literally like Viator all over the world at savings of 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 off on every excursion. And because you're saving so much money on the hotel, it gives you access to book things. So this has 1,000 different excursions that you can book. The Versailles is one that I booked. And so you can see this one is a 5-star excursion. And then when you book it, it tells you just like the hotels, it shows you pictures. This thing is stunning. Absolutely. I've read it in books. I'd heard about it, the Hall of Mirrors. It's so worth it to go. This is what's included. It gives you specific information where to go to meet the people and the schedule. And then of course, read the reviews. Always find most of the reviews are pretty good. And then you check availability, gives you the times. And once you book it, then it tells you what your savings are. So here, like I said, it was about $100, so I'm saving about $8, but that adds up over time. Plus, I'm getting 277 loyalty points. Like I said, the loyalty points is for any of these things that you book that you could use for your next booking. So when I booked this thing, along with the other points that I had, those points start to add up, and it's 3% of the booking is what those loyalty points are. You can book cruises here, but I think the other site is a little bit better. Alrighty. So, um, the other travel site that we have access to is the one where I did the package deal. And I use this a lot if I'm going to fly somewhere. I find the package deals on these things are incredible. And it's very similar to other site that I just showed you for booking hotels. Sometimes the hotels are good savings as well. Again, do your due diligence. But with this platform, we have access to concert tickets, amusement parks, Disneyland, Disney hotels. Uh,
Yeah. Really? Goshen. Mm-hmm.
this is everywhere in the world that, when you're a US citizen, you have access to this site. So, but you could save money at all these attractions, Six Flags, all sorts of things like that. And then concert tickets, NFL tickets. I know the owner of the company just went to an NFL game recently. He goes to Cabo a lot. So, there's things you could do when you go to Cabo and you book it. So if I wanted to go to choose a city, I heard somebody say New York. Let's just look at New York. Then you can pull up the city and see all the things that you can do while you're in New York and potentially save money. And they vary. Okay. So this is not like you're going to save hundreds, although it depends if you're going to go to the Super Bowl game. We've had people that paid for their home membership for 3 years. I went and booked Moulin Rouge when I was in Paris last year and I saw it in France. Had no idea what it was. It was epic, literally epic. It was one of the highlights for my whole trip. And then, so Broadway shows, sporting events, I can go on and on, but they have it all. And you could choose any city, even international cities. If you are, if you're in,
Athens?
huh?
Yeah. Athens, Greece?
Okay. I went Greece hopping for 5 weeks this last summer. It was epic. So they have things that you can do in Athens, Greece, and then you go to the site and then you pick stuff and it tells you what that discount is. So I'm not going to go into details with this, but you could save 5%, but you also have access to save on the other two travel sites as well with excursions. And then with this thing, the package deal to me is epic. I'm not going to go ahead because it takes too much time to look up something, but I think I've done a package deal to Sedona. I did it to St. Augustine. Recently saved almost $500 on a package deal, extending my trip to St. Augustine, and I invited Gabby and Terry to go with me with the baby, and we had so much fun. But it was 3 nights at a beautiful 4 and 5 star hotel. I believe it was a Marriott. I extended my stay when we went to Hilton, and it included my flight. So this is how you do that, and because it's a package deal, the savings are so good here. But you could do rental cars. I ended up getting a rental car. I wish I had done it at the time that I booked it, and I would have even saved more. So, but you could also book just hotels or just flights. I've actually, when I was in Sicily last year, I'm not a planner. Unlike my friend Terry and my daughter, they plan. And I'm in Florence I'm in the Sicily and I needed to get to Florence for my next booking. And I thought I could just take all the trains. Oh no, it's too far of a train. It's over 12 hours. And so I ended up going on here, booking it like 2 days before I had to go, a flight from Sicily to Florence. And I got such a good deal. It was incredible. And I booked it right on here because I tried to go book it on the Italian airline. I couldn't understand the language, but this was all in English. Booked it just like that. It was amazing. I cannot tell you how fun that was. So I'm going to move on to what do you do with these travel points that you have? And if you have questions, I promise you we'll come back to it. But when you join the membership, it's a small startup fee. Let me get to that part actually and show you that real quick. Just so you can understand how it works. There's three levels of the membership. There's this one, which is the silver. It's $69.95 one time, $52.50 a month. This gives you only access to the travel site, not the world tours, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. And then you have the titanium, which is the middle package. And this is the one everybody does, the platinum. And you get travel points. So you can use those travel points with the titanium. It's $149.95 and $75 a month. You get access to the world tours and the getaways to use your travel points. But I find I had a girlfriend that just joined titanium. I don't recommend it. You save 50% up to on the world tour, the getaway of one time for the year. Whereas with the platinum, you save up to 80% on the world tours and you get two of them for the whole year. So it's 269 one time plus 135 a month. And this is what almost everybody is joining. So let me go back and show you the world tours. So the world tours, the way it works is these trips, and mind you, I've been on 7 of them. So if you want to go to the resorts world, it's $29, but you're going to buy it down with your travel points that you get every month. And it takes about 5, 6, 7 months to get enough travel points so that you could buy it down for the $29. Now, mind you, I have a lot of points right now, but you don't have to use all your points. If I had 0 points out of the gate, it's $799 for this if I didn't use my points. But if you want to use them, you just use less points. But if I wanted to maximize the savings on this thing,
is that hotel only, or is that including airfare on that?
Great question. It shows you what's included right here. It's 5 days. It's room only. There are no breakfast. There's no flights on this one. Usually these world tours don't include flights. So when you get to the resort, some locations have these resort fees, and a lot of times Travorium will buy it down and help you save money on those. But Vegas is notorious for it, but not all locations have it, just so you know. I was in a weird place in Greece and they charged me for it. I think it was Croatia, because I went to Croatia and Italy this summer too. But so this trip is $29. This is a fancy, beautiful hotel. I believe Randy went on this particular world tour. I have stayed at this particular hotel because of Randy's sharing about it. And I thought it was so gorgeous. I wanted to check it out. But let me show you a couple others. You can't even go to Maui. And this thing includes breakfast included. We went to Vail and the breakfast was $96. Izzy and I went there. It was $96 per day to go to that. So this is a steal of a deal to go to Maui. I'm dying to go to this, but my daughter's going this year, so I probably will be going to meet her in Hawaii. It's my first time to Hawaii. Terry could tell us more about this. I cannot wait to travel with my girlfriend Terry to Italy and Hawaii. So, but this one includes a 4-star hotel, beach resort, yoga classes. It doesn't include any breakfast or anything. And then we saw Portugal, Algarve for $111. They have Venice, Italy for less than $200, staying at the Hyatt. And the Murano, I believe this one includes a glass factory tour. Yeah, because my friend Jackie went on this for her honeymoon. Look how gorgeous this is. Oh my God, this just brings me back. I went to Venice last year. I'm like, I want to go again. It is so amazing. In the afternoon, it's just crazy. You're in the big square and it's just so gorgeous. You just sit down on afternoon and just have yourself a beautiful drink. And before you know it, the water rises in the center of town. And so they have the butlers and the hotel staff of the restaurants and nearby. They all wear these like huge waders because they're gonna get soaked going back to the kitchen because the water rises at the end of the day. It's just crazy to me. But These trips are all for two people at a minimum. Okay, so this price is for two people, including the breakfast, or all inclusive if it is that. But you sometimes can add more people. So if you're a family or you want to invite a sister or an aunt or a child, it's $29 extra per person for a child, or $40 extra. So you could bring four people on this trip, which is kind of amazing. My girlfriend just went to New Orleans. A bunch of my friends went to Bali, and literally, I think it was Bali or Thailand. I can't remember which. They were literally petting the tigers as their excursion. Look at this beautiful resort. The world tours is my kind of thing. I like bougie. I like um, luxury, and this one's for 6 days instead of only 5 days. And then again, this price is for two people. So I can go on and on and on. These things are so good. $100 go to Boston. This was where I met Terry and her daughter in Hilton Head just a few weeks ago. Actually, we went and stayed at Sonesta. It was absolutely gorgeous. I spent $149 for two people on this beautiful resort, and I met her up there. And then I did an excursion. Sorry, no, I did
That's right.
package deal on going to St. Augustine, because that's my new thing is I go on a world tour and a new location, and I tack on a few extra days because I can. And I figured, why not? I work a remote job, and it just makes sense to me. So, but we literally have these all over the world. Prague, I went to Prague last year, but I ended up not going to this hotel. But this is absolutely stunning. One of my team members just booked this. She's going in March. And this location is epic. And Prague was, oh, I can't go on and on about Prague. I went through Prague on my way up to Copenhagen this year. I went on 35 trips this year, and I went on 26 last year. So I'm at about 60 trips in the last 2 years. This one is 7 days and 6 nights. It's a 4-star hotel, includes breakfast for $79 for two people. And you can add a person if you wanted, if you had an extra person to go on this. So New York, I went to New York for the first time after I saw Terry in May. I went to go see her new place, and then I went to New York for the first time. I didn't do the world tour, but I didn't think I'd like New York, but I loved it. I was like, this place is crazy. Now, Dubai is very sought after in Travorium for some reason. If anybody has not been to Dubai, I highly recommend it.
What does that really mean?
People love Dubai. They keep going to Dubai. We're going to have 12 trips to Dubai next year. Last year we had Dubai for like $7. This is a 6 days, 5-night trip. And so and I can go on and on. They just announced April this year. So you can go to Monterey, California. I almost went to that one. So does somebody have a quick question before I move on?
Yeah.
What's the question? Okay. Well, we'll come back to that if you guys have questions. With your travel points, you can also book getaways. And getaways are 7 days usually, but sometimes 3 days, sometimes 5 days. And these are your condos, timeshares that you can book all over the world, and sometimes get a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, so you can sleep like 6 people or more. And so I've got a lot of travel points right now. So if I book this thing, it's 100% savings. I'm paying $1 on this one. This one I'm spending $209. But let's just look at this one for a moment where I'm saving 80%. So this is the actual location in Cancun. You can see it's a condo right by the water. Beautiful. It looks like Hillary luxury. I love bougie. The location's amazing, right? And this is a 2-bedroom. You could sleep up to 6 people for $200. So the way these works is you got to be flexible with your dates, and it helps to book like, 3 to 6 months out in advance with your points. And you can go for 7 nights for this price. This is the full price. So you're going to save $850, 80% off. And and you can book it this year in October, May of next year, or you could book a 1 bedroom and sleep 4 people. And you can invite your friends to go with you, your whole family. We have one gal in our company that has 7 children, and they go and book these getaways, and it's incredible. So, and you, again, the way these points works, it's 270 points that you get as a platinum. You can apply your points. So it takes about 5, 6, 7 months to get enough points to do it, to get them to work. So, and then you get it at this price. So, which is incredible. It's just literally an incredible price. So these are your getaways. We have them all over the world. We have 2 different platforms for the getaways. You could actually book it. I'm trying to figure out. Let's go to Greece.
Yes, good idea.
Does somebody want to go to Greece?
My daughter's senior this year, and her dream that we've been planning is Greece. So that's why I keep bringing it.
Well, we have the Getaways Plus and the Getaways, so you can look at both. But if you were to book, this is 3 nights, and this is Athens near the Acropolis, because I was just there, so I recognize that. A lot of times these are 7 days. There are so many islands. So this is in Athens. That was in Patra. There are Crete, Greece. I went and did a world tour at Crete, Greece. So let's look at this real quick. Crete is amazing. It's actually one of the bigger islands. And so it's kind of close to the ocean. So that's a great location, I would think. And it's just a condo. And I'm telling you, the hills in Greece are just literally on the side of a cliff everywhere. But Crete is amazing. I would highly recommend going to Crete. And then if you wanted to get a bigger view of where it is on the island, that kind of gives you a feel. And then the way these work is you just book the hotel, and this is hotel, not airfare. I don't know why it's taken so long, but it's 7 days. I believe most of these getaways are 7 days. I have yet to go on a getaway because the world tours are just so freaking darn good, and I love bougie, so I go to these. But these are amazing because if you have a family and you had kids, you could cook. So this is telling you for 7 days, you're going to go for $110 and save $750. And this is the total price. Actually, it says taxes not included. I'm so sorry. The world tours is always included. So, but this shows you dates coming up next year. And then a lot of times it gives you options on like a 2nd or a 3rd bedroom. And they usually cost just a slightly more. It depends on the location and the dates. Any questions on the getaways, guys?
I'm good.
Okay. So, we have last that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to segue to Randy, is we, as a gift, that as the company, we give you a gift where you go on a trip and all you do is pay the taxes, and it's anywhere in the world. So Brazil is a country that we're opening up pretty soon, and you can go to Rio de Janeiro for 5 days, 4 nights. If you select this location, the way it works is it gives you the option to pay the taxes first. It helps to be very flexible. Then it's going to give you the dates of where that you pick the dates, and then it's going to give you like 3 options, and then you just book those options. This is usually a 3-star hotel, but sometimes you can get 4 and 5-star locations. But it's if before you do book these, I recommend you check with me first, because not all the locations are 4 and 5 stars. I'm a bit of a snob. I don't really like 3-star places. But you can see it's literally all over the world. I know people that have gone to places in Mexico and have stayed at a 5-star resort in Cancun. And then my friend did that when he stayed in Puerto Vallarta. And so you'll see it's 6 days. So they're not always like some are 3 days, some are 4, some are 5, some are 6. It really depends on the location. And it's kind of like, remember you were a kid and you went and did that white elephant gift. You don't exactly know which hotel you're picking, so it helps to be what's the word? Flexible. But just know you're going to have an epic trip. I saw Maldives on here, and I think that's new. I hadn't seen that before. We have a trip to the Maldives with Travorium, and it costs $2,834. And my girlfriend went, and it's a $10,000 trip. So if you can go to the Maldives on an incentive trip, I would recommend it. It's probably a pretty good value
What is
for
it?
5.
Yeah, how do you get these trips?
The incentive trip is a gift that you get as part of your membership as a platinum.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
So you sign
Yeah.
up and then you get the
About
trip.
this.
Oh,
You just get it as part of your membership. I can't recall whether it's part of the titanium. Actually, I think it is part of the titanium as well.
Yeah. Oh,
But
so this is outside of your points.
it's actually the incentive trip is not Travorium. It's a third-party company that provides these. So we have no control over them. But it's a gift that we pay for Travorium for you to have it as a gift for joining. So basically you joining, you're going to get 3 trips as a platinum. You're going to get 2 world tours, 2 getaways, and then your incentive trip. So joining, automatically you get 3 trips.
yes, not 3.
I got 3.
Not 3, yeah.
It's better every day. I keep learning more.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And they're all over the world. So I've had friends that went to Hawaii. I have had friends that went to Fort Lauderdale. You just pick it. We have them in America, but a lot of these are more 3 stars. And again, I'm a total snob. I had a friend that went to Branson, loved it.
Wow.
Maybe we do this one, Terry. Go to Charleston. Let me know when you're going. It's on my list. I didn't get there.
I want to go to the Northern Lights. How do I go see the Northern Lights? I saw Iceland. See what's cool about this? When you bring your friends in, you create a travel group, and then you can travel together.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily like be together. You're going to be at the same location, so you can go. Let's go do dinner tonight. Like whatever. Like when we went over there, I was blown away with how many people from Colorado were at the Sonesta. I was like, oh my God, my friend's here. I'm feeling so happy right now. Like this.
Oh, here, right now.
And it's because they're all in the travel club.
We go to Sedona. I freaking love Sedona. But even San Francisco, oh my God, you guys. Here's St. Petersburg, Terry. She wants to go there. So there's just literally everywhere in the world. And the incentive trip is part of your package. You get one of them and you can go with people.
Right.
My friend Daphne, just because to segue on what Terry was saying, is she is a member of this travel club, and she she wants to travel and doesn't really have friends that travel with her. So she and I are basically conniving to go on a world tour together. We're thinking about going to Puerto Vallarta. So it's $499 for 2 people. They just announced April and March to go, and it's all inclusive. And she doesn't know who to travel with. So I'm like, I'll go. Like, what a bummer. I think I'll suffer through it. So it happens. The more people you invite in this membership to go and travel with you, and they don't have friends to travel, because I'm pretty much a solo traveler. I've traveled, 60 times the last 2 years, and most of it was solo travel. And at first I was freaking out, and now it is so much fun. Now I've got people that are like, okay, Hillary, you're not traveling solo next year. I'm coming with you. And so I'm going to travel with my friend Daphne on 2 different trips. But if anybody has any quick questions, I can answer it. Otherwise, we can segue to Randy, who's going to talk about how it works when you sponsor 3 people. Yeah, Lisa.
Right. Yeah, there's questions in the chat as well.
Okay, Lisa, you have to unmute yourself first.
Who was that girl with blonde hair?
I wanted to know what a world tour is. I don't know. What's the definition of that? What exactly is that?
That's a great question. So the world tours are 4 and 5-star resorts that are usually 5-day stays anywhere in the world. But sometimes they're like if you go to Dubai, it's 6 or 7 days, right? And it's just a luxury trip that you're going to basically save up to 80% off on that trip when you go for 2 people. Some are all inclusive, some don't have any food at all, like, Resorts World in Vegas, but most of them have breakfast. Sometimes they're half board, which is breakfast and dinner. Whenever they have a breakfast buffet, you're not going to need lunch.
But Hillary, I mean, the world tours are super special because that's where you get to meet all the Travorium members all over the world, from all over the world.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I'm a solo traveler. That's why I like the world tours, because I actually like people. And trust me, I like to go to my room. I was telling Terry, when I went to Greece, I could have stayed at this amazing place and listened to music to 2 in the morning. I just want to go back to my room, right? But on a world tour, it allows me to go to the lobby and meet people that I've met in Sicily, Italy last year. I met Danny Seguinol. He lives all over the world because he's the 2-star ambassador, and he just travels the world literally half the time. And I saw him at another world tour. And then I saw so many other people that I've met 3 and 4 times now. They've become my friends, and I met them through traveling. And it's just so much fun as a solo traveler to literally meet people. And Terry saw that when she went to Hilton Head, because that particular world tour had 400 women. It was a women's retreat. There were 400 women there, and a few husbands came along in the suitcase. But yeah, the world tours is just so much fun. The world tour is kind of a funny word because it's not really a tour, but it's basically just come with other people and have an amazing time. Any other questions?
Yes, Matt had a question in the chat.
Matt, what's your question?
How many points do you earn on nights? You talk about earning points. Is there a particular amount that you earn every time you book it? Is it per night? Is it per transaction? How does it work?
So I think you're asking about the travel site, right? Not the world tours, right?
Not the world tour, just that you were talking about points and then how points can be used. So how do you earn those points? Like, what's the logic of that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So remember back when I was talking about the travel site and you can triple dip. So you save money on the travel site all over the world. We save 40, 50, up to 60, 70% off on travel, on hotels. And when you book it, like in the example I showed you with the Hyatt, you're going to save money on the hotel itself. I forget what savings it was. And then you're going to save on the Hyatt. When you get to the hotel, you're going to give it your Hyatt points. You're going to earn more points by staying. I cannot guarantee that works, but most of the time it does. And then the third one is, what's the third one? I'm just
3%.
having a moment.
About 3% of the booking or something like that.
Oh, thank you. The loyalty points. Thank you. So the loyalty points it's too early for Hillary. The loyalty points is so amazing when you're booking it on the Travel Legacy site. That's why I like to just stay with the Travel Legacy, because the next time I book my hotel, I'm going to save that $20, $30, $40. It's 3% of the booking on the Travel Legacy site. But all 3 of the travel sites have loyalty points, and it adds up over time. So you're going to save 3% on the next booking, and the next booking, the next booking. I traveled 60 times. Do you think I saved a lot of money over the last few years? It's insane. And then also with the activities. So it's also flights as well as rental cars and all that thing you're going to save. So that's a great question, Matt. How do you save money on flights? So that's a great question, Lisa. The airline industry is highly regulated. So the savings we have, which are there, we cannot guarantee anything. It's, my suggestion is don't book early, book late, book last minute. I've saved big on booking last minute on flights. I've saved big on doing a package deal on Plum Benefits on last minute. I literally booked last minute in Vegas like 3 times, that Sedona trip. And then when I was in Sicily last year and I didn't have my flight to Florence, I booked it last minute. But, I know if you're a planner, that might be tough for you. My daughter and one of my team members is booking for 2026 and 27. The savings on flights is just not as good if you book in advance. But it's still there. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's the same price as what you'd find somewhere else. So you at least get your loyalty points. Does that make sense when you book it? So, but if you don't want to book it on flights, you don't have to. You just keep doing what you're doing on flights.
And is it the same, sorry, on the flights, it's the same thing, like we have our American that I travel all the time. So you can do the same thing. I can put in my Advantage number and get my American Airlines miles and points and all of that.
Absolutely. And then here's something I didn't even know was possible, because when I came out to see Terry and Gabby in St. Augustine, I booked with Plum Benefits as a package deal. And I wanted, because I might have gotten another booking on my house, I really wanted to go to Charleston. So I thought, well, if I go on to, it was United, if I go on there and make my flight flexible, I paid an upgrade on the flight. I was able to do that on Plum Benefits in the package deal so that I could change my flight and not be charged $1 million. I ended up not getting the booking, so I just came home. But I probably would have saved more than I saved because I paid extra for that flexibility. So when you're booking a package deal, you can change your flights, you could put your freaking flyer miles in, as well as change, how you have a lot of flexibility on choosing what hotel you want. So the savings are real. The difference with this type of membership is, like, if you're somebody like, I always book on the Marriott, or my daughter, I always book on a Hyatt because she has the Chase credit card and that's what she's learned is the best way to go. I'm going to suggest that you don't do that and choose what the site tells you is the best savings. And because you're choosing what the site is telling you, it helps to be flexible, because when you're in Greece, there may not be a Hyatt, there might not be a Marriott, but oh boy, there's some amazing choices of places to book where you're going to save up to 80% off, sometimes 70% off, 60% off, depending on where location. If you want an ocean view, Hillary likes to be on a cliff with an ocean view. Sometimes you pay a little bit more for that. It just depends on what you want. But what I'm saying is the mindset shift is required in this membership to save huge. If you are able to do the jump in the mindset shift, you'll save so much money. The price of the membership is literally a no-brainer at that point, because on one trip, I saved almost $500 going to St. Augustine. On a trip 3 weeks prior, I went to Vegas. I saved $300. I went on 35 trips this year. Last year, I went on 26 and I saved $20,000 on all my trips. Now, the one thing I want to tell you more than anything is when you share this with other people, your membership becomes free after 3 people. And then when you do that, becomes a business. Even if you're just sharing it with a couple people, you can write off on your taxes all of your travel for life. For life. I saved my tax account, finished my taxes. I saved $25,000 on my taxes. And the membership, do the math, is about $1,600 for the year or something like that. So $25,000 paid for how many memberships for how many years? And I am making it a business so much that it's taking over my first business. If anybody knows what it takes to be a property manager, it's a lot of headache, a lot of, entitlement. A guest comes in, they demand shit. It's not perfectly cleaned. I deal with it on a daily basis. And this is easy. This is just sharing with people how to save money on travel differently. And so much that I'm really not an Airbnb girl anymore. I'm becoming a hotel girl. And traveling solo when you're staying at a hotel where they have the amenities, it's walking distance to the center of town. It's life changing for me personally. I used to be somebody who loved to stay at Airbnbs, and now I just like staying in hotels and staying close. And a lot of the hotels last year I went to Amalfi Coast, and I stayed a little bit away from the beaten path. And instead of cars, they have ferries, and you take a ferry to the next port, and the next port, and you go to Positano and Amalfi and Sarah, I think it was called Seratano. I forgot the name of it. And they have free shuttles to take you into the center of town to catch the shuttle, the ferry shuttle to the next island. And I'm telling you, this thing has just been so much fun. So much fun. As a solo traveler, I thought all of it would be scary, but it's been really fun and adventurous. Instead of just, running Airbnbs anymore. Now I'm making this a living, and so much that I've made $14,000 so far over the last 2 years, and it's just growing. So, any other quick questions before we segue to Randy?
Yeah, I got a question regarding like excursions. I'll give you an example. I'm thinking about going to Scotland, maybe what, June, July, and then graduate. Say June, and I'm thinking about let's say excursions. I'm a motorcycle guy. So are those places, they need to be part of the network in order to get those, say, savings?
Yes.
Like if I'm going to go rent a motorcycle in Scotland, they got to be a member of the network, right? In order for me to, well,
You'd have to
So
look
you're-
up, like buy it or whatever.
would that have like a list of excursions, and maybe that might be one of the options to where, hey, you can go rent a motorcycle. But you just have to look for
Oh
that.
yeah, we could do a quick search maybe after Randy talks. We could do a quick search of Scotland and see if they have motorcycle tours. I mean, literally, whenever I booked a tour, it's been Viator. So I would think that you would have access to anything Viator is supplying, and that is on the Travel Legacy site. We have access to 2 other excursions on the other 2. So there's just so many. I don't use the other 2 because I find the savings, and it's just having all the savings on the Travel Legacy to me seems the best. But yeah, I would think that we would be able to access
Maybe some options
that type of option for you. But we'd have to do a search of Scotland and just see.
Perfect.
You're going to be so pleasantly surprised at this thing. It just takes a little bit of a mindset shift from I book a hotel, I get the savings, I have the credit card. You could still use your same credit card. So really it's quadruple dipping if you have a particular credit card that's like a miles credit card, which I do. So you're really quadruple dipping. And this thing is like, when you start thinking about the tax write-offs of all of your trips, this thing is a total no-brainer. Literally, not just travel for business, but travel for pleasure is now a tax write-off because you have access to a lifestyle membership, if that makes sense. So,
So when you talk about your solo traveling, but all of the prices are based on 2 people. So as a solo travel, you're basically paying double that price that's listed there, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't give a break on being a solo traveler, but I'll tell you what I've done is I invite my friends to go with me on a trip. That's why I invited Terry. Every person I've ever invited on a world tour has joined as a member because they just see the value. And then it's so much more fun. My friend Debbie, she was my very first person. She quit because of her own issues in her life. She just rejoined recently. She goes, "Oh my God, Hillary, I'm so jealous. I have, she came to Jamaica with me and she just rejoined going, I'm jealous. I want your life." I'm like, "Well, you can have it." So she rejoined. So, I mean, This thing is so much fun. It's really fun to travel with other people. And it's actually really fun to travel solo, to be honest. You know, you ever traveled in a group and it's consensus and you can't decide what you want to do? And I'm like, God, it makes me crazy. I just go wherever I want to go, whenever I want,
You're doing pretty good.
whenever.
I'm a solo guy.
Uh,
She tags along. Like,
So, Randy, you want to come on to the front of the call?
Yeah, can you see me okay and hear me okay?
Yeah.
say something.
Man, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to follow all that. That was incredible. I mean, Hillary, that was just amazing, right? I don't know if you guys can see the value in this, but it is absolutely mind-blowing what you can do, the flexibility, the savings. It's incredible. Now, my little piece of the puzzle that I want to share with you here is that imagine all these things that she shared, the incredible adventures, what she's done in her life, how it's, all the things she's been able to do in the savings and everything, and you're not even paying for it. What? You're not even paying for the membership. Imagine that. Now, think about this for a minute. When I'm a carpenter by trade, swing a hammer for almost 30 years. So when somebody told me about this almost 3 years ago now, I was thinking to myself, first of all, they said, you could travel like this and create some extra income. And I'm thinking to myself, you got to put your different hat on here, right? Put your business person hat on for a minute, right? Put your residual income stream hat on for a minute here and think about just how awesome what she just shared with you is as a service, just a service. Then couple that with a business opportunity, right? Now, I don't know about you guys, but there's probably only one person on here that doesn't have room in their bank account, right? You guys all are gushing, you're overflowing, you can't get any more dollars in there. Nobody's like that, right? Everybody's got room, right? For sure. Well, a little bit about my story. So we'll get into this. About 3 years ago, I was swinging a hammer, like I said, 60 to 80 hours a week, struggling to make ends meet, single dad, 2 sons, one already out of school, one getting ready to graduate. He was a junior at that time. I was looking to make some extra money. But guys, I don't know if you've ever worked construction. I had no energy to do anything else after my day was over, right? So when some friends showed me something like this, and I didn't even have the benefit of what Hillary shared, this is incredible. The way she laid this out and her experience and everything, we didn't have that. But what I did hear was that I could spend some more time with my sons, that I could make a little bit of daily pay without interfering with what I was already doing, right? Because I didn't have any more energy. I didn't want a second job, right? So this is what happened to me, guys. Some friends of mine shared this with me. I know them, I like them, I trust them, right? Good friends. They saw me wanting to make some extra money. They told me about this. I saw the savings. I thought that would be great. I want to make some extra memories. I want to make some memories with my boys before they're out and gone. The extra income, that would be great. That would be great. But when I first looked at it, I was like, yes, I'd like some daily money. I'd like to get this daily pay they talk about. But man, if I can create some extra memories and save money on these trips in the process before they're gone and out on their own, I'm in for that. Because the bottom line is, this is a wholesale travel membership platform. So worst case scenario, I was going to save money on my trips. I was going to be able to put them on layaway basically every month just with my membership. That's where the 270 points come in, right? My membership fee. So I was putting these trips on layaway anyway. Worst case scenario, I was going to take 2 incredible world tours or getaways with my kids every 12 to 14 months. So made perfect sense to me. Let's give it a shot. So dive in. I said yes. Matter of fact, it took me about 2 days, 3 days to say yes. I did some due diligence. I kind of looked at it. But if I saw what Hillary just shared right here, I'd probably just go ahead and jump in because there's no contracts. We don't have contracts here. We're not a timeshare. By the way, let me just share this with you. If any of you on here actually have a timeshare or had a timeshare in the past, this was just in the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal said that the average timeshare is $24,000 to get it. Then it's $1,700 in maintenance fees. And you got blackout dates, right? Think about that for a minute. That's crazy to me. And then what's even crazier is they said 500,000 of these things are sold every year. I don't know about you guys, but I know friends who had to get attorneys involved to get out of their timeshares. Those things are terrible, terrible. Why would anybody ever want to be a part of something like that? With us, it's a month-to-month thing. You love it, you want to use it, you'll use it, and you'll never turn back. Or you can hit one button and bunk, you're out. You're done. It's that simple. When you got something this good, guys, you don't need contracts to get people and tie them up, to do it. So my story, swinging a hammer 60, 80 hours a week, want to make some extra income and make some memories with my sons. This was shared with me. I said, as a good carpenter would, I'm going to do some due diligence. I did that. And then as I got in, I shared this with 6 people. 3 of them said yes. They saw the value. They thought they were going to travel. They wanted to save money anyway. So it was a win-win. 3 of them said yes. 3 of them said no. Guess what one of the 3 that said no was? Guess who that was?
Hillary.
Hillary said no. Right? And so, okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter, because here's what I want you guys to understand. When they asked me, do you know at least 3 people that like to travel, go on vacation, get away sometimes? I'm like, yeah, I know at least 33, maybe 300. I don't know. Sure. Well, if they see this and they like this and they want to do this and they join with the same membership that you have, which is platinum, by the way, 95% of people see the value in the platinum membership. They all join there. If they join that, the company has a referral program that they will begin paying you $4.45 a day for those 3 people. So what does that mean to the layperson? What does that mean to the guy out there swinging a hammer, right? If I shared this with 3 people, it's no longer coming off my credit card because they're paying me $4.45 a day. That $4.45 a day over 30 days is about $137 on average. Well, the monthly membership subscription is $135. So they simply take the commissions for the 3 people that I brought to the company to help build the platform. They simply take that out and they pay my membership. No longer coming off my credit card. Guys, this is so good. It's ridiculous. So everything Hillary told you, imagine having that and not even having a monthly subscription. Not even paying that. Because the husband and wife, David and Adela Hart, who own this company, 13-year-old, debt-free. We just capped, we're open in 78 countries around the world now. Debt-free, American-owned. Now, when I say that, some of you might think, oh, yeah, there's probably some private equity company involved, or there's some, venture capitalists involved here with this. No. This is owned by a husband and wife. They are debt-free. They're conservative about what they do. He has a history of being an entrepreneur. In fact, he was nominated for Entrepreneur of the Year by Inc. magazine for under 30 years and years ago. Guy's just incredible. So integrity up to here. So back to my story. I shared it with 6 people. 3 of them said yes, but I'm in the busy season. I'm swinging my hammer. I'm working. Now, guys, I know that you're going to have to put your business hat on here, okay? You might have to open your umbrella, all right? Because the only way an umbrella works is if you open it. So just hear my story here about how this can work for you. And if it can work for me, it can work for anybody. So I'm swinging a hammer. Those 3 people, they got excited. And they shared it with a few people while I was swinging a hammer, just like this. They watched a video. Maybe it might have been a recorded one, might have been live like this. They shared it and they started getting excited, and a couple other people decided to join. So they were getting their 3 to join. The next thing I know, it unlocks this compensation plan where the company's paying you to help build the platform. So the 3 people unlocked it, so it was no longer coming off my credit card. I shared it with another person. I had 4 people, but those people kept sharing. And as this compensation plan is unlocked, it is a true team building effort. True team building. So when we help Terry and Gabby and anybody else here that decides to come on with this, we have a vested interest in helping you. Look at what we're doing here. We're giving of our time, we're giving of our memories, our efforts, everything to help you. And that's what we're going to do for you too. But anyways, that's what happened. They started sharing. And it went from $4.45 a day to $10 a day and a $100 bonus. So I was averaging around $400 to $500 a month on the side, part-time, the magic of part-time. Remember, I didn't want another job, right? I didn't have enough energy to do anything else. I wanted to create some memories. And oh, by the way, if I could get this daily pay, that would be great too. So it goes to $10 a day. About 7 months goes by. I'm still swinging a hammer. And my team, you literally just have 2 teams here. It starts to grow and it goes to 25 people in each of our legs. We got 2 legs of this thing. Just go straight down. These teams that are grown from people getting excited and sharing went to $25 a day. $25 a day and a $750 a month bonus. Hillary just showed it to you, right? Black and white, guys. We're showing you the facts here. So it went to that. And they give you these cool little rings, you know, they're not very small. They're like championship rings, but they're awesome too, little perks, right? But now it was $1,500 extra. Listen to me, extra a month. I'm swinging a hammer still. And I'm looking at that thing like, wow, you know, I might have hit my thumb a few times looking off at that and getting distracted. But that's what happened to me. When it went to $25 a day, $750 bonus a month. Now I'm looking at $1,500 extra every month at about a year in. I'm thinking this thing is crazy good. I hadn't even got to take a trip. I shared this with Hillary before I even got to take a trip. I shared this with all my friends because I thought this was amazing. They were using it before me. I went to Resorts World and figured it out after 7, 8 months. I got to use the points. So as a good carpenter, I'm checking the boxes. Share it with 3 people. Your membership will be paid for on an ongoing basis. Very next day, $4.45. Check. It works just like they said it does. That's interesting. Those people are going to get excited and start sharing it, using it. The team's going to grow. Check. It went to 25 people in each leg. Check. It went to a $750 bonus each month, $1,500. So I'm just steady checking off my list. Yep, it works, it works, it works. Now it's time for me to go and validate this. Does this really work the way they said it was? I see the money sitting there in my back office. I see it paying me every day. I see the bonuses coming in there. So I go in the back office. There's a world tour coming up to Resorts World in Las Vegas, the one she just showed you. Guys, I've never been to anything like that in my life. I'm from a small town. If you're going to go, if you want to get in a pool, we didn't have pools, by the way. If you're going to a hotel with a pool, it was the Motel 6, and it had a little pool. And me and my buddies, we would jump in there late at night and get into the pool, right? That was our excitement from a small town. I mean, I grew up in a really small town, as you can tell. So when I go to Resorts World, by the way, when I flew in there, I saw the money that was piling up in the daily pay. So I had to call Cynthia Sly, who was in our organization. I said, how do you use this money back here so I can get my flights? And she had to walk me through it, just like you saw. So I took the money and I went on the Plum Benefits site and booked my flights. I saved $50, but the money paid for the round trip flights. And then I had money on the card that they pay us on, a little debit card, just like a Visa debit card. Use it anywhere. I used that to buy my lunches, my events. I took my brother. I brought my brother to go with me. We had an absolute blast. But guys, I got into a pool there they call these things infinity pools. I don't know if you've ever been in one. I had never been in one. Remember, I'm a small town kid. If it was a pool, it definitely was no infinity pool. But when you go to Resorts World, they've got this pool and it overlooks the whole strip and everything. And when I got in there, and I was funny because my brother was filming me, and I got in there and I go over to the edge and I'm looking, and wow, this is amazing. They were building a theater stage set down there for a concert. And I can remember thinking to myself, what? This is crazy, right? So when they say that you could travel like this, you absolutely can. Check the list, check the list. Experiences, check the list. Everything will check off on that list. Now, here's a little part that I don't want you to miss, because if you're at all interested in creating a residual income stream that is super, super simple, that takes advantage of the number one industry in the world, which is tourism. Number one, it's twice the size of the gas and oil industry. It's 10 trillion right now, going to 15 trillion in the next 8 years. If we're still here, guys. 15 trillion in the next 8 years. So if you're going to get involved in anything, if you were going to want to make some money, wouldn't you want to be in the biggest market in the world or the smallest market in the world? The biggest market in the world, right? So why not? You're going to travel anyway. You want to save money anyway. If you share it with 3 people, it's not even coming off your credit card. If they get excited, this is my story, swinging a hammer. They got excited and started sharing it. And the income starts to grow because a service is being sold on a recurring basis. Now, I don't want you to miss this. What is your car insurance? Recurring, right? What is your Costco? Recurring. What is your Netflix? It's recurring. The reason this works is because it's a recurring subscription and you get a small commission. Makes total sense. So as more people get excited, you're still doing your job. You're still commuting. You're still doing whatever your thing is, right? Other people are excited, and it creates leverage. This magical word that I had no idea of when I was swinging a hammer. You mean to tell me over 30 years, if as I was swinging a hammer and I brought my new hammer to the job and, and I said, hey, check out my new hammer, guys, and they all went out and bought that new hammer, wouldn't it have been great if they would have sent me a little check, a little commission, a little thank you for building our business? They don't do that, right? Nobody does that. They just depend on the goodwill of people to promote their businesses, and you'll just show up. Look at Facebook. I don't know if any of you ever got a check from Mark Zuckerberg. I never did. I never got a check to help build that. How about Airbnbs? I never got a check for recommending Airbnbs. Huh? Lyft? Uber? Did you ever get a check for recommending someone getting one of these things? No, they don't. But in our business, in this model, with this husband and wife, with this structure, with the largest industry in the world, tourism, that you can do part-time. I love that it was low cost, low risk. I was going to do it anyway. I could do it on my time and my terms and be profitable quickly. That was a lights out thing, guys. So here's the last. I want to close with this. This is powerful. Einstein said that compound interest, eighth wonder of the world. Eighth wonder of the world. So residual income and leverage, 2 things I didn't have swinging a hammer. Compound interest. This is growing without me. People are excited. It's growing. They're building it in the nooks and crannies, just like I did. They're just sharing it with people, just like I did. At about 2 years, this company had paid me so much and now was at a residual income level where it was almost as much as my pension. Almost as much as my pension. Don't miss this. 30 years swinging a hammer, 2 years sharing something I was going to do anyway. I loved it. Everybody loved it. 2 years. Guys, I was just like, here's my hard hat Let me put on my fun hat. Okay. I got my Royals hat on. Usually got my Chiefs hat on. Chiefs playing Monday. But anyways, I digress. I digress. So, as an opportunity here, guys, it's a no-brainer. It really is. If you want to create some residual income stream, you got some room in your bank account, like most people have anyway. You're going to take these trips anyway. People are going to see it anyway. It's the number one thing shared on social media. Vacations, traveling, getting away. What do people say? Hey, Randy, how did you save on that trip to Vegas? How did you save on that fishing trip? By the way, I took a great fishing trip with my boys to Chicago. We chartered a boat. We were on the lake all day fishing. Do you know how many calls I got about that? You're going to share it anyway, and people are going to say, hey, how did you do that? And here's my answer to you. Is it okay if when somebody asks you, how did you do that, that you get Terry and Gabby and Hillary and me involved to help answer their questions? See, we're not salespeople. We don't have to. If I had to be a salesperson, I would not have got involved with this. We just have to share our experience and what happened to us. And it speaks for itself. So I know there might be some other questions about that. I don't know, but I'm happy to answer that. I know we're approaching an hour and a half, and I hope we haven't taken up too much of your time. By the way, Terry and Gabby, I don't know if I like this format because I'm sitting here watching everybody drink wine, eat the cheese, and have all the stuff. Next time we do this, I'm going to make sure my own little platter's laid out here so I can partake. I'm not sure I like this deal, you know? So, anyways, thanks for giving me some time to share. Like I said, just the average guy with above average desire to want to change his life for his kids and his future. And it works.
Okay.
It works. So I'm going to hand it back over to Hillary. Thanks, Terry and Gabby, for giving me some time to share with you guys.
I appreciate you. I wanted to say before, I'm a terrible hostess here.
No, you're not.
You're not introduced everybody that was here.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Did that. I'm sitting here going, I was so worried about the food and all of the stuff that I completely blew that off, and I apologize. So I'm going to introduce my friends that are here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start over there. That's Gabrielle, my daughter. Hi. You've met her before. You all know me. This is Shez. He just got here. I just met him last night while I was in public. Welcome to the Tracy, Shez.
Yeah.
He just approached me. I must have been beaming. I was so excited about it.
Divine intervention.
My neighbors that live across the street right here, Alex and Kimberly. They're just
I'm Kimberly.
Okay. Gotcha. I get that.
Amazing.
I get it.
She's on the other side. She mowed my lawn a couple weeks ago while I was gone.
Aww.
But Hillary, she was mowing my lawn. They're unbelievable neighbors. And then on there, we have Lisa. Lisa is my grandbaby's other grandma. And Opa is on there.
Hi, Lisa.
Lisa and Alex. And then, let's see. I can't see. Who else is on there? I know.
Matt dropped.
Oh, Matt did.
Yeah. Annie and her husband Marco. Marco worked at the building I used to live in New York.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're still here. He might have had to drop, but I was really excited for
Yes, we're still here.
Oh, there they are. Hi.
Yeah, this is and Hillary and I have been friends for a million years. I don't know, something like 16 years. We've been friends, and Randy, I've known Randy for quite a while as well. So we're kind of old friends too. So that's it. And this is the fun thing about this is being able to just keep bringing in more new old friends.
I know. I was like, oh man, this is like a good excuse to get people together. We should just do this all the time anyway. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just say this last thing. Our wish for all of you guys, if we had one wish for anybody here that came, our wish is that something that we might have shared from our story, our testimony, the products, the opportunity, something that we might have shared might resonate with you guys when you're headed back home today, when you're getting in the car and you're thinking, wow, I wonder if this thing might work for me. Well, absolutely, products work. There's no doubt about that. It's incredible. Whether you decide you want to share it or you want to keep it to yourself, that's for you. But our wish for all of you is that something that we might share might make sense to you, might say, you know what, I'll give that thing a try. And come on and join us because we're having a lot of fun here. I think you can see the theme. This is just friends. We're a bunch of friends sharing with friends. And sometimes divine intervention reaches in and we have a new friend come and join us, like this gentleman here. So, but anyways, yeah, that's the last thing I want to say. Just thanks for allowing us to be here and share with you guys something that can change your life and impact your life. Memories. Oh, wait, I got to say one more thing. One more thing.
Better not.
When my boys and I were coming back from Chicago, we wanted to make it a road trip. Fun thing. So we took the road trip. It was only like, I can't remember how many hours, 7 hours or 8 hours from Kansas City. But on our way back, I'm steady talking away to my boys. My son Colton's 20, was 25 at the time, and my son in the back was 17, senior in high school. We're rolling down the road. I'm just talking away, like, gosh, what didn't we have such a great time? And I look over and they're both out. They're asleep. They're not even paying attention to their dad's words, right? But then I thought to myself, you know, if someone were to ask my kids, my family, my two boys, what's your greatest memories with your dad or about your dad? It's not going to be that dad worked overtime, swinging a hammer, missed my football game, right? None of that stuff is going to make sense. The only thing that's going to make sense is the memories that you made together. Those things are where the value and the wealth of life come in, right? So I just soaked that all up. And ever since then, we've been planning things and it's just been an adventure. So value, value, value. Hope you guys get that. Thanks again.
Beautiful,
I get it.
beautiful presentation. Nicely said.
Thank you, Randy.
Izzy,
You're welcome.
Izzy, do you want to show your face real quick? At least say hi. And I think Jeanette already said hi. I can't remember.
Hey, Izzy.
We just, yeah, there you go. Izzy is good friends with all of us too, so we didn't want to forget him and Jeanette. So
Nice. Right?
He's on mute.
we can't hear you, Izzy.
I'm mute.
Oh, I said congratulations. Hello. I was like saying, I cannot wait to see you all travel and enjoy this amazing company and membership. It really has changed my life. Travel is my passion. And I want to say even the money has changed my life because I'm saving for my next trip, and I can't believe there's already over $1,000 some in that bank in that little commissions tab. And just to know that we've been doing this just part time, it's so cool. And we got people, friends from all over the world that I've met that are making 1 million plus a year with this, and it's really the best kept secret right now for sure in our modern times. And I just want to say, like, I've traveled with Hillary together. We've been to Orlando, we've been to Vail, Colorado, we've been to Las Vegas, and I've been following her. And she's my go-to for everything now, I swear, because she's gone to Europe all the time. She's going to Sedona, and she's going to places that I am dreamt about going to. And this has meant that this really has allowed me to travel where I want to go. I mean, I would have never stayed in Vail, Colorado. I've always wanted to visit, but not to stay there because it's so expensive. It's the most coveted places in the world to go ski. But right where the ski lift is off, and that's where we got to stay at that 5-star hotel. I mean, incredible experience. And I just want to say that the money has also changed. And you wouldn't think, it's just a small group of people, and it doesn't take a lot, and you can really, really see, like Randy said, make more money than your pension, or even save money on your taxes. I saved, I think, over $3,900 just to have this membership as a customer because I was already traveling with my trucking business. And so guess what the membership cost me? Nothing. What does it cost you to join? Pretty much a very, very small upfront fee. And think of it as your Netflix for travel, your Amazon Prime for travel, or your Amazon Prime for saving on discounts. And it's an incredible experience. And I thank you so much for the refresher, because it gets me excited every time that Hillary does these back office walkthroughs, because you learn more and more and more, because there's so many things in there that you have that you could share. So I just want to say hello, Gabby and Terry. Congratulations. I haven't seen y'all in forever. I cannot wait to see y'all very, very soon, ladies. I miss y'all for sure.
Thank you so much, Izzy, for popping on.
Nice meeting you.
Well, that's the rest of what we were gonna do, unless you guys had more questions. We're gonna let you have your cheese and wine or whatever.
I'm super jealous that you guys are drinking wine and cheese on on this nice day. Oh my goodness. Cheers. Cheers for sure.
Oh, brownies.
Oh, really? Did you have to do that? Uh,
That's so funny. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
They suggest you just give water for these type of things because it's more duplicatable.
We can't do that. No way.
That's not everybody. That's not capable of that.
They don't know who you're dealing with.
Thank you.
So, oh my gosh, so that was really great. I learned something that I had no idea about. In fact, I learned a few things, and one of the things was that you get a complimentary trip just for joining with your membership. I had no idea.
yeah, and you got 14 months to take that too. So
Wow.
it's, yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah. Start looking at that. Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you
thanks
very
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Wish I could offer you some dessert or something.
Yes, please.
Yes, I'll take some.